Okay, so that, again, we have binary ionic. We have the metal, name the metal first, name the nonmetal second, and then we have it in an IDE. Right? So here are, I need to do a little erasing here because I made a copy and I left some things on the copy, so I'm going to erase it real quick here. But you can write those first two down that you see. And then when I get these erased, you can write the last two down. Okay. So, we'll just do it real quick. We'll look at calcium. Do we need a Roman numeral for calcium? No, because it can be just a 2. There's only one number listed. So, we're going to write the name of the metal, calcium. And then we're going to look at what I is. I is iodine. But we will not use iodine because it's no longer the natural form. It has now a negative charge. So it becomes an "ide" ending. So it's calcium iodide. Calcium iodide is the name of that. Okay? You go ahead and write the name of the second one. Go ahead and write the name of the second one, what you think it will end up being, and then we'll confirm to see if you have it right or not. Al2O3. Al2O3. This is an ox's outer covering. Did you guys know that? The name of this? Get it? Ox's outer covering. It's oxide. Oxide. Okay. All right. So this is ox's outer covering. It's aluminum oxide, right? Aluminum oxide. Okay, the next one, you always got to double check to see if it has multiple numbers. But you'll get used to it. If it's in groups 1 and 2, you're not going to use Roman numerals. If group 3, you're not going to use Roman numerals. You get in that middle section where you start getting into some of those elements that have what we call multiple charges possible, then you have to stipulate what charge it is within the formula. So we look at iron, and iron can be a 2, 3, or 6. Well, we can't guess. So like in algebra, where you have to solve for x or solve for y, you know one of the values, so you can solve for the other value. So chlorine we know, or chloride we know. What's chloride's charge? It's overall going to be a -3, but what's 1 chlorine's charge? -1. Everybody see where they can find that on your periodic table. It says chlorine can be a plus or minus 1, 3, 5, 7. So it's a -1. There's 3 of them, which means it's an overall negative charge of a -3. Iron, there's 1 iron. What does that charge of that iron have to be to where it balances out to 0? +3. To balance out the -3 total. So right there's my Roman numeral. Iron free. Okay? Iron man free. Is there an iron man free? Yeah. Iron free chloride. Okay? And then a lot of times we put it in parentheses so that just to kind of separate it out. But iron free chloride. So all you do is you use the known charge, the negative charge, and find out what the positive charge has to be to balance it out overall. So go ahead and do the next one to see if you can get it right. PDS. lead and sulfur. Lead and sulfur. So lead can be a 2 or a 4. If you find PB, it's down lower on the chart in the middle, and it can be a 2 or a 4, Roman numeral. So you guys look up sulfur, and it can be only a -2, right? So lead has to be a +2. So it becomes lead 2 sulfide. We got it. So that's kind of the start of the naming. I think on this next one I'm going to give you one a little bit tougher. I got to thinking about one I haven't given the other classes that will come up, and I know you'll have troubles with it if you have to find a Roman numeral for it. So I'm going to give you one that's on this next one. I'm going to erase one and give you one that's a little bit tougher to do, so that you can see one of those before you have to do one of those in the future. Okay. So, all right. So I'm going to erase the last one and give you one a little bit tougher to do, but the first two you can try. See what you do, and then by the time you get to this last one, I'll have you see if you can do it, and that would be by far the toughest one you'd have to do on a quiz, is this last one. So you always double check the metal, and if it has multiple charges, then you have to look at the negative charge and what the individual charge of that ion would be, so you can identify the Roman numeral for it. So go ahead and do those three. The last one's the toughest one to do. You should be able to get 1 and 2 with the 3 examples we've done, but we'll see. See if you do or not. Go ahead and try. And so chlorine's a -1. We have 2 of them, and so copper needs to be a +2. So that's why it's copper 2 chloride. Don't look at this number to tell you what the charge is. Okay? Just a lot of times it's the same, but it doesn't mean it's always going to be the same. So copper 2 chloride for the first one. The next one is just scandium oxide, right? You don't have to put a Roman numeral. If you put scandium 3 oxide, you would be wrong. Because why tell me what the charge is when I can look on the periodic table and find the charge? I already know what it is. You don't. 100% of the time, what's scandium going to be? +3. 100% of the time. So don't tell me what the charge is when 100% of the time I know what it's going to be, because there's only one listed. The last one's the toughest one to do because it has subscripts for both of them. So what you do is you look up the -2 charge.
So that's the second one.
Or the last one. The second one's scandium oxide. Okay? The last one, oxygen's a -2. You got 3 of them, and that's a -6. So then what you ask yourself is 2 times what gives you a +6. 3. So each of those iron's going to be a +3, and that's your Roman numeral, the +3. Okay? It's not the 2.
Your boy.
It's the charge that each one will need to be to balance out your -6. So this is your Roman numeral. So iron, 3. I don't know how many times we have students that do one like this, and they'll write iron 2. Because they'll go, oh, that's a 2 there. So it's iron 2. Okay? Or they'll say students will do this first one and they'll go, oh, I only have 1 copper, so it's copper 1. What's the Roman numeral represent? Charge. Not the number. Not the subscript. So you got to get, if that's in your thinking, or gets in your thinking, you got to get it out, because you're going to get them all wrong. Every single one with a Roman numeral, if you're writing how many you have, majority of those you're going to get wrong. Right. Now, last thing before I get you guys to sign up for the classroom, I'm going to set up a classroom like some of your other teachers have, just a Google Classroom, so that if you're missing, or if you need a worksheet reprinted off, or you need to do something online, and I'm going to start doing electronic copies instead of paper copies, that you'll go to that site and you do that in your other classes too. So, we're going to just write formulas now from the name. And to do that, all we need to do is make sure our charges are balanced by using subscripts if they're necessary. So like for the first one, if we write a formula for aluminum bromide, I just look up the charges and then I determine what subscripts I need in which to balance out those charges. So aluminum I look up and it's a plus 3. I look up bromine and it's a
Plus or minus 1, 5 or 7.
yeah, it's a -1. It has to be a -1. It has to be the minus.
3 bromine.
So I need 3 bromines for every aluminum. And that, whatever I multiply it by, is my subscript. So it's AlBr3. Okay? You do the next one. Now, cobalt, when you look it up, it can be a 2, 3, or 6. But I'm telling you what the charge is. You're not guessing. I'm telling you it's a charge of a 2. Again, I have a lot of students that want to do this. They'll write the formula is CO2N. Because they'll say, oh, that 2 is the number of cobalts I have to have. That's the charge. Find the number of the subscript by using the charge in which to balance out the charges to 0. So cobalt's a +2 and nitrogen's a -3. So then you got to find a common charge. You got to get both of them 2 to where they'll balance out. Yeah.
Basically, you take the cobalt like times 3 and nitrogen's like 2.
Yep. Because the common number, just like in fractions, 1/2 and 1/3 would be 6 when you add them. You got 1/2 plus 1/3. You got to get them to a common denominator so you can add them. Common charge, so you can balance the charges out. So cobalt, like Gavin said, 3 cobalts, 2 nitrogens. So that becomes your subscripts, those numbers you multiply by. So CO3N2. Right, go ahead and do the last 2. See if you've got that part figured out. Once you do the last 2, you've got them written down. I will ask you to go get a Chromebook so we can sign up in Classroom and I can share with you the site that is on the Classroom now. That's a Word document. You can just click on it and then click on the link and it'll take you to the site. I'm going to show you how it works. It doesn't take you a couple minutes to kind of show you how the site works. And that, so. Okay? With you? Chromium is a +3. I'm telling you the charge. I have to tell you the charge because otherwise you're guessing. And same when you write this out, you have to tell me the charge. So chromium's a +3, sulfur's a -2. So 6, I get both of them as 6, so it'd be Cr2S3. That would be the formula. And calcium's a +2, fluorine's a -1, so it'd just be CaF2. So CaF2. Okay? So, I'll share you this this website. When you now I set it up. Can you guys? Does it when you click on that? You got a Word document. When you click on it, does it take you here? Yes or no?
No. I don't think you directly there, but you can get there.
It's like a link.
It takes you to a Google Doc.
But then
you click on the link in the Google Doc.
That link will take you there, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
You gotta run this video. Yeah.
So the link takes you what's called inorganic nomenclature quizzes. And when you go there, then you have ability to do quizzes and practice. So when you go down here, you hit the arrow, you got binary molecular, we'll do that tomorrow. Binary ionic we did today. Polyatomic compounds and acids we'll do next week. And then they have everything, they'll give you everything excluding acids on the last one. So they'll just mix them all up. I wish they would do all of them, including acids, but they don't. Okay, so they'll mix them all up. And you get to practice them. When you get to that point where you have to take that overall quiz over everything, that's the one you click in which to just practice all of them. So I go down to binary ionic, and I say quiz me, and I'll just do a couple here because they're really easy. So calcium fluoride, I look up calcium, it's a +2, and I look up fluorine, it's a -1, so then I need to have 2 fluorines. Because calcium is a plus. The only thing is you can't write on this, so you might have to have a scratch sheet of paper if you need to bounce charges out. You can't do it in your head. You do it on paper. That's fine. That would just be okay. And then reveal answer. Am I right? It says CaF2, so it's the same. Okay, and then let's say they give you a formula, AlBr3. So I type in aluminum. I can type. And then bromine is bromide. Aluminum bromide, reveal answer. Yeah, I got the same thing. You can grade answer. This says correct.
What if you get it wrong?
You can go just put reveal answer. And then you can see what you did wrong. So if you grade it and it says incorrect, go reveal answer and it'll tell you what the right answer is.
What do you put in for like earth science?
What's that?
Like,
You put on the right answer.
Oh, 25 EGENG. So if you want to take a couple minutes to see how it works.
Oh, that was weird.
I think I gave you that.
I can't.
Yeah, whatever.
Like when we don't know the question on the test, they go like this. Like maybe we don't know.
And they're like Morse code.
Yeah, that, is it what A or B?
You scroll down and do like inorganic,
That's right.
binary ionic in there.
And like I'll pass it. Yeah, Kayla broke off from me a while ago.
I was gonna say,
Then you go quiz me alone. When you guys are done, we get out at 37, 36.
Get it right. He will correct you.
So that gives us 4 or 5 minutes to put that away, but that is an excellent site to practice any group. you want to.
So like when do you think when do you think we should take this quiz?
Okay, so tomorrow the first quiz will be available. I'm not saying you have to do it tomorrow, but there'll be 25 minutes during the end of class if you want to. Like if you go home tonight, you practice a bunch, and you're ready for it, you can take it tomorrow. You can take it on Monday. It's whenever you're ready to take it.
I like our boards.
Quiz is paper. Quiz will be a paper quiz, unless I find a way to do it electronically. Trouble with electronically, you have to put it in, like on this one you have to put it in a specific way.